Morning, folks. So the results in hung Parliament. Well, I don't think it was quite what May wanted, but we'll never know because nobody's got any idea why the election was called in the first place. And possibly it was done to destroy any kind of excuse for going to the Brexit table, because the powers that be desperately don't want us to leave the European Union. So you've got the Scottish Unionists, the Scottish Nationalists. They've only got 21 seats. They dropped down from a half to a third of the votes in Scotland. So wee Jimmy Cranky there, even though she's got a majority, the people of Scotland have sent her a message and she needs to change her tune. Plus, Scotland's on the verge of bankruptcy at the moment. She spent too much money and services are suffering. It'll be interesting to see what happens at 10 o'clock this morning, whether May's going to resign. She's probably the kind of person who won't, but you never know. It'll be interesting to see who's got in North Cornwall. I haven't checked that out yet, but let's hope it's not the idiot that was there before who refused to answer any questions on European Military Union. I did send him a little message yesterday after he actually emailed me. So we'll see how that goes, but I think the thing we've got to keep an eye on is they're going to still, because the way the financial system is, which is what really matters, everything's run on by the banks, and excuse me, everything's run by the banks. Therefore, all of this shenanigans with, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that is a load of bollocks, because the banks will tell them what they've got to do. You've got to remember, VAT goes straight to Brussels. We're paying 80% of our income in taxes, and yet we still can't have a decent health service. And I mean, you've seen from these videos the state of the roads. Old people dying in hospital wards of dehydration. I mean, what's it about? What's that about? And then they're saying, oh, immigration, we've got to do something about immigration. And rather than keeping the tow rags, the unskilled tow rags out who just want to come and take the benefits, they're putting a stop to nurses from the Philippines and stuff like that, skilled people that the country really needs. They're stopping them from coming in and letting all these unskilled, low IQ migrants from Africa and that in. So what does that tell you? There's a plan there, and if you look at the clergy plan, it's about destroying the northern white races, turning us all brown basically, and homogenising us all so they can bring in a one world government. You call me a conspiracy theorist if you like, but they make no secret of it. That's what the European Union is based on. So the likes of Merkel and that are absolute globalists. When the rest of us are dead or amalgamated into this European super state, she'll still have a seat at the top table. You've got to remember, her and May, none of them have had children, so they don't give a shit about the future, do they? So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. But I think it's business as usual. Basically, they're going to privatise the health service. They're going to do their best to scupper Brexit. They're going to continue to export all our military to Europe. Apparently this week, the Royal Marines, their morale is at the lowest point it's been for years. And that's because they're being treated like infantry. They're specialist troops, and they're being treated like infantry. You know, just being sent into colonial wars, US colonial wars in the Middle East, trying to promote regime change instead of defending us. We've no longer got a defence force. The UK Army, Navy and Air Force is gone. They're now all part of the European superstate controlled from Brussels. So that's nice, isn't it? So I can't see much change, but Hung Parliament might scupper the Tories' plans for privatisation of the NHS. But you've got to keep in mind, you've got to follow the money. The money's what runs the country, and because we've got over $1 trillion of debt now, the banks are in control, and the banks are going to do what the banks need to do to make a profit. And if that means stepping over the bodies of you and me, that's exactly what they're going to do. But we can stop them. We've got the power. What you need to do is not contract with these people. Get rid of your credit cards. Use cash. Stop using electronic banking as much as you can. Try and use your local credit unions. Try and get out off of the banking system if you can. I mean, a lot of us have got mortgages, and there's a lot you can do about that. And there's a big mortgage fraud scandal coming with them having securitized mortgages that they've got no right to secure. Problem is, when you sign a mortgage form, an agreement, and that word's important, go and look it up, an agreement, there's a clause in there that gives them power of attorney, which is why it enables them to steal your house if you get 3 months behind. But what they do then is, after 3 months, they claim on their insurance, so they get paid. They sell your debt, so they get paid again. And they force you to carry on paying the mortgage and steal your house. So they get paid 4 or 5 times. Excellent, isn't it? It won't go on forever, but we're going to have to put up with this crap for a little bit longer, unfortunately. But Hung Parliament might slow them down a bit. But you must engage. You've got to write to your MPs. You've got to phone them up, email them, keep the pressure on, ask them why they're acting like traitors, why they're not putting the country first, why they're only talking about crap. You know, they're not talking about the real issues. The North Cornwall MP, man, I can't remember his first name. That's how important he is. But he refused point blank to talk about European military integration. Well, if he got nothing to hide, he would talk about it, wouldn't he? You know, he's just being a traitor. He's just selling our country out. He's just there. He's in there. He's taking the money. Right? He's doing the minimum he's got to do. He's following the party line religiously because he wants to get to the top, not because he wants to do the right thing. He just wants to get to the top of the pile. And it's like, no, I won't use that analogy because I might get called an anti-Semite by some lefty ignoramus. But yeah, we'll have to see, won't we? I think it's business as usual. I honestly think that. I can't see that much is going to change. By 10 o'clock this morning, we'll know whether we've got going to swap one malevolent Prime Minister for another one. It'll be interesting, won't it? And have Mr. Corbyn who volunteered. Oh dear. Where's screaming Lord Such when you need him, eh? Anyway.